Welcome back to Leaf Illusion. In this space, I work to reconnect us to Gaia, to anchor us into our heart space, and to remind us of our unity. The whisperings of nature are all around us, and oftentimes the messages go unheard because of our busy and overstimulated lifestyles. So what I do here is I channel messages from spirit animals, from the elements, from the various cycles that exist in our natural world. I really am tapping into the energy signatures that are around us that help us direct our life in a way that is more in flow and therefore creates more ease for us. And of course, along the way, there is always an invitation to go a little bit deeper for that self-development on any level that you are looking to advance yourself, to know yourself better. So please like the channel, subscribe, turn on notifications, leave comments, share with your friends, all of the things that you would do to help support this channel and watch it grow. I look forward to seeing you at the various readings I do. Welcome back, guys. This reading is going to give you the option to pick one of 4 plants. I will show you, I've done little watercolor paintings of the 4 options. They are associated with essential oils that I have. I've mentioned before that correspondences are something I try to line up, and so each of the cards actually has been anointed with its respective plant essence. So let me show you the area, and then you will see the options available for you to choose from. You will just want to sit with the images for a little bit and intuitively choose the one that you are drawn to, or more than one. It just depends on how you are feeling. And then we will do a reading to see what message is coming through for you. This is option 1. This is option 2, option 3, and option 4. Okay, so if you chose option 1, you chose Clary Sage, and this is an example of what her flowers look like. Clary Sage is a plant that is known to help us lock into our intuition. It's a very powerful plant for source connection and any type of meditation work that you are wanting to do. It's a very good ally that way. For me, every time I work with her, she reminds me of the water element. Like, she smells very water to me. which is a very interesting thing to say because it is not the smell of water, but that is what I associate when I smell clary sage. So this is going to be energy of intuition and higher guidance. And that's the initial energy coming through. So now let's go ahead and look at the runes and see the overall message. Not much I can do about the helicopter, so we will just have to make the best of it. Okay, I'm gonna move this rune just because I don't want to lose it. It's kind of hiding in the shadows. There is definitely a considerable message here. So I will start with Ingwaz, which is our seed energy. So already we have an understanding of new beginnings. There is a prospect for the future. There is something about laying groundwork for future projects, future manifestation. We also had Fehu come through, and Fehu is our wealth, it's our resources. So this is indicating that that by choosing clary sage, we've got the new beginnings and the foundations that are starting. And Fehu coming out also indicates that there is going to be bounty with this new beginning. There's going to be a payoff with whatever you're working on manifesting and bringing into the world, into your life, that it is going to have a very lucrative or resourceful aspect to it. We additionally have Wunjo, and Wunjo is our rune of joy and satisfaction, and there's a sense of completeness with Wunjo. So this endeavor, what is going on with this process is going to be very positive. It almost also is a sense of proactive. So it's feeling like as you start to see the rewards, the payoffs for this project or goal or whatever it is that you're working on manifesting, relationship, there's going to be a sense of renewed positivity about it. So step one is going to be complete. You're going to see evidence of the manifestation coming into existence, and then you're going to have confirmation that's going to make you excited about the next step, and so on and so forth. So that is what Wunjo is bringing. Oh no! And the wind element, which is our mental body, just moved all of those off. So that could be an indication to not overthink things, because when you overthink them, then you can end up losing progress and moving backwards. The next rune, though, that I was picking up is Berkana. Berkana is the birch tree, and this is about rebirthing. This is about birthing in general, bringing something into the physical plane. This is about nurturing feminine energy. This is about our intuition. So I'm actually not surprised to see Berkana coming out with Clary Sage. We have very complementary energy lining up with these two. So Berkana is further evidence that what is happening is the beginning of something, the movement of something. Whoop. We also have Tiwaz, and Tiwaz is about our action energies. So this is tied in with the god Tiwaz, who in other pantheons it would be considered Aries or Mars. So this is a type of fire energy. This is about movement. This is about making decisive decisions. This is about strategy and planning. In Norse mythology, though, the god Tyr, this is also very important when it comes to concepts of sacrifice for the benefit of the whole. So this is about balancing your needs with the needs of your community, of the collective. So the project that's being built, I'll try and get the other runes a little bit later, but the project that is being built, Tiwaz is reminding us that there is importance in stability through balancing and a sense of fairness and justice when you're making your plans and when you're organizing movement. We also have Naudes, which is the rune of fate. This is tied into the three Norns, which are the weavers of fate. This is meaning that there are certain lessons, certain plans that you are meant to experience this lifetime. And because of free choice, you get to make decisions about how those unfold and how you experience them. So this fruition that's coming into being, the activity that we're working on, manifesting, whatever that is for you guys, there is a sense that this is something that you have been meant to do, that is something that is going to line up with your soul purpose, and something that is meant for you in this lifetime. And that is where a lot of this joy feeling is coming in, because it's almost like it was predestined, and this is a lesson or an activity that you are really embracing with full force because it lights up your soul. The next step in this reading is Perthro. And Perthro is about the unknown. Perthro is about taking a chance. It's about gambling. It is the realm of infinite potentials. This is, if you want to think about it, it's like the quantum realm. So anything is possible. And what I love about Perthro is the potential within it. So we had all of this beautiful birthing energy that was coming out with Berkana. And Perthro is really going to lend itself to that in terms of what you focus on, where you put your attention is where you're going to see the growth. So be mindful of the thoughts you're having, the behaviors that you are enacting. You want to make sure that you are lining things up so that you are creating ease and flow for yourself as you work along this path of setting things up. Because it's a gamble, because it is unknown, any possibility within the quantum realm can happen, right? So as much as possible, you want to do what you can to direct it towards the outcome that you would like. The next pieces for this reading, we have Isa, which is ice, and we have Kenaz coming out, Kenaz being the torch. So there is some resistance, there is some stuck energy. There is a place where you're not wanting to move, and it's feeling like it's because you're comfortable with where things are emotionally. So with this being water, it is tied to our emotion body, and this means that it's feeling like this is time to question some foundational beliefs that you have about particular situations. It almost is feeling like questioning your beliefs in manifesting itself, like thinking like, oh, it's not possible, it's not, only people who believe in manifestation are wishful thinking and it's just a waste of time. Isa is feeling like there's a reason for you to reassess your beliefs about things, to almost give yourself permission to open up to the unexpected and open up to the miraculous of what could happen. Kenaz being the torch energy, this is about lighting our way. This is about, we don't always know what is the next step, but we know that there is a next step. So this is indicating that when the next step is there, you will be able to see it. You will be able to light your way and know which direction you are supposed to go when the circumstance presents itself. So we had the wind knock everything off earlier, and I said that was about our mind getting in the way. Kenaz is fire energy, so it's about our energetic body, our soul. But I'm feeling like this too is reminding you to have or to give yourself that space to reassess the situation and to understand that things will move, that things can change, and you have that power and that ability to change your mind as you're going. We also have Awaz, and Awaz is representative of the horse. So you will want to be paying attention to any type of horse iconography, whether that be horses themselves, unicorns, Pegasus, horseshoes, that type of stuff, whether it be emojis or pictures, or you're out on a drive and you happen to see some because you've gone past a pasture, things like that. Awaz is is energy of companionship, and it's energy that connects us, connects the earth plane with the astral plane. So this is also about divine guidance, and it is tying you into your soul star chakra. So a lot of this, and we lost runes again. I think I'm gonna stop trying to pick them up, but this is telling us that part of the reason this journey is feeling so good, despite the challenges that we're seeing or that we might face with personal beliefs, is because it is a spiritual journey. There's an element of spirituality to it, and it's a sense of feeling like you know that you're guided and you're protected, and that you're not alone. So that's the kind of energy that Ewaz is bringing. We have Rido, and this is about movement, this is about journeys, and this is about cycles. So with this reading, we are looking at Rido in terms of this whole thing is a process, and it's a process that doesn't happen just once. You get to recycle, you get to recreate, you get to keep making choices for yourself time and time again. So we had Perthrow, which was about the unknown. So every time you make a choice, understand that you get to make another choice based off of new circumstances or situations that come into your life. So Rido is reminding you that it is a journey, not a destination, and the cycles continue. One completes and a new one begins. So keeping in mind that it's important to follow things through to completion. And the final rune for this reading is Ansuz. Ansuz is connected with communication. So this is going to be throat chakra energy, making sure that you are speaking meaningfully. Since I was getting manifesting energy from this reading as well, this is going to deal with speaking your desires into existence. So thinking a thought is important. That gives it power, that gives it life. Writing, journaling, it gives it power, gives it life. But speaking also does. The vibration of your voice is very powerful. And Ansuz is feeling like it's reminding you of this. And so in this manifesting process, when we had this self-doubt, or we had this call to re-examine beliefs, Ansuz is kind of telling us to call yourself out when you are feeling limited, and really explore, why am I feeling this way? How can I feel different? How do I want to feel? It's about that honest communication with yourself. So that is our reading that came through for Clary Sage. I thank you for watching, and I hope to see you at the next reading. If you chose option 2, you chose pink pepper. And pink pepper is a beautiful, fiery heart energy plant. Pink pepper is really good for giving you that type of self-love, but also community love. When I work with pink pepper, it always just reminds me that I'm not alone, that I am part of a larger whole. And I really, really appreciate the energy of pink pepper in that way, reconnecting to unity and a sense of cohesion. So this is a lot about heart coherence and heart cohesion. So that is the base energy of this reading that you chose. And we'll go ahead and we will consult the runes and get the full reading. So there's a lot for this reading. The first things that are coming to me, so we have Suelo, which is the sun. So this is about our core energy. We're really feeling empowerment with Suelo. We are feeling illumination. We are feeling like not many things are hidden from us. We're not often taken by surprise because we have the power of the sun. So things are not going to be in the dark very often. Next to it, we had Dagas, which is day. So Dagas carries with it an understanding of short cycles. So 24 hours in a day, typically 12 for productivity and action, 12 for rest and recuperation, but also an understanding that cycles repeat quickly, and what you did not complete today, you can work on tomorrow. So it carries with it fire energy like Suelo does, but it is a fire energy that is less intense and it's less encompassing. Next to both of those, Kenaz also came out. And Kenaz is torch energy, so this is more of our personal, use it as needed illumination, fire energy. This is about understanding that we get to make choices about where we go. And when we are in uncharted territory, there will be a way for us to find direction. So I was talking, pink pepper is a fire energy. It's very active energy. It's very creative energy. And then we have 3 of the light runes, 3 of the fire runes that came out at the very beginning. So there is a lot of active movement, a lot of creation, fire happening in this message. So that is something that Spirit wants you to know. We also have Othala, and Othala is about legacy and inheritance. It is about what we leave for future generations. It is about what future generations have built for us. So this is about taking the time to really assess the overall long-term impact of what you are doing and being appreciative of the foundations that you have to stand upon as a result of what those who have come before you have built. So with this, and then Ansu's is here, which is communication, I'm actually getting a feeling for this, that this is reflection back on what parts of the system are not working. What parts of the old foundation need to be modified and changed for better cohesive movement going forward for the collective. So understanding that and communicating it so that you can work collectively with communities in order to help build the foundations that are needed for those coming after you. There also is Awaz, and Awaz represents the yew tree. So this is energy of Yggdrasil, the tree of life. And this is about complete connection and alignment. So it is about the roots that tie you into the depth and the core of Gaia herself, to the branches that connect you to source energy and spirit. So with this one, it is important to make sure that you are balancing chakras, that you are keeping a clean space, that in any aspect of your life you are keeping open channels to create ease of flow. And again, I feel like communication is a big factor in this. So making sure that there is open communication in order to allow movement so that things can be established in a very productive and effective manner. We have Uruz, which is our rune of creativity, and I almost said earlier that I wouldn't be surprised if I saw it in this reading, but I didn't, because I don't like to presume what runes are going to come out. But Uruz is really, really working nicely with the first three runes that we saw, because this is about the creative, generative forces within you that are going to light your fire, really, and help you go after what is important to you. Uruz represents the auroch, which is an extinct form of like an ox or a European bison. They were very massive. They were the size, they were slightly smaller than elephants. And this is the type of power and size and force that Uruz carries with it. Uruz, though, in the capacity with these runes that came out, it was a rite of passage for men to come together in the community and take down an auroch to help feed the village. And taking down an auroch was not something that could be done alone. So again, not only do we have the creative energy that is coming through and supporting the first part of the message, we also have that sense of community and foundation, legacies working together. We have Isa, which is ice. Oh. So Isa is about stasis. It is about staying power. And in this particular reading, it feels like an energy of fortitude. So this one is serving as a positive energy in this reading. It is about resolve. It is about really collecting yourself and concentrating so that you can focus your energy to a very specific end. We do have Hagalaz coming out as well. So Hagalaz is hail, and this one is, as ice is part of our emotion body as well. But it is mobile and it is transported through wind. So Hagalaz often is some sort of conflict between the head and the heart. It is about stuck emotions that come through as outbursts, as breakdowns. When you've been working too much and you haven't taken the time to eat, or you've been traveling and you maybe really need to go to the bathroom. These are types of energy, or like you have been doing something and you're really tired. Like when people get cranky, it's usually for a few base reasons. Do you need to eat? Do you need to sleep? Or do you have to go to the bathroom? It's one of the things I often think about. So Hagaloz is that type of energy of you've just been going and you haven't been paying attention to the things that you need to tend to, and it results in kind of an outburst of energy because now whatever has been ignored has to be dealt with. So Hagaloz is reminding you to work on balancing the needs between the head and the heart, what you want to do versus what you need to do, what you feel intuitively versus what you actively want to be working on or doing. That type of energy. I'll say too, hail does carry with it destructive powers. When a hailstorm comes, people take cover. They don't want to be out in it. And then after a hailstorm passes, things are damaged. They're not the same. So your landscape is different. And this is one way of creating space for new growth. It also, as time passes, the hail does melt, and so it becomes liquid flowing emotion, and it is nurturing then for plants and people. So it then becomes more of an accessible form of life energy. So we also have Thurisaz, which is destructive energy as well. Thurisaz is lightning. So this one is fire energy. So we've got the fire energy again. This is going to be sudden illumination in the darkness. So those moments of insight when something comes to you, inspiration, that type of energy. It is associated with our solar plexus, and Oris is our sacral chakra. So we have a lot of base creative personal power energy in this reading as well. We have Tiwaz, which is about balance. And this is, so what this is feeling like, when we were talking about Hagaloz earlier and about this division or this imbalance between the mind and the heart, Tiwaz is coming in and it is reminding us that balancing these two states of existence are how you are going to get into a productive state so that you can then start taking action to bring things into alignment to build these foundations. So it is important to make sure that you are allotting the designated time and energy to these specific areas that are needing balance. We also have Elhaz. Elhaz is about protection. Elhaz can represent the elk, it can represent the Valkyrie. So it has celestial type of divine intervention, type of guidance and protection. Guardian angels, guides looking out for you. It also, with the elk energy though, it is energy of Gaia is protecting you. Gaia is there. The earth and its resources are there for you, and the healing power of the earth to help you get back into a foundational position where you then can function in a more appropriate fashion. And we have over here in particular, so Elhaz is associated with root chakra. Then we have Oruz, which is our sacral, Thurisaz, which is our solar plexus, Ansuz is our throat, and Awaz is that full chakra alignment, right? Earth star up to soul star and all of the chakras within the system. So there is really a sense of balance and empowerment through that balancing that is coming through. And then pink pepper itself carrying that heart energy. We have Naudas, which is about necessity. It is a need for something to happen. So in this particular reading, Naudas is calling attention to the fact that it's calling attention to that need to balance in order for things to flow and to have productivity. We have Gebo, which is gifting through fair exchange. So with Gebo, we are talking about what is good for you should be good for me, and what is good for me should be good for you. So are you a good guest? Are you a good host? That reciprocity is how we find that mutual benefit, and we don't waste resources, we don't hoard resources, we keep things in flow, and keeping things in flow is how you find abundance and prosperity. So this is lining up very much with this legacy energy, that it is by working together, it is by working with an understanding of creating this foundation for the good of everyone involved, that everyone is going to benefit. We have Rido, which is about the journey. It's about movement. So this couple of feelings with this one for this reading. One, we had all of this fire and sun energy, movement and change and illumination over here. And we have this building energy that is happening over here. There were a few water elements that were indicating some sort of disturbance or some sort of challenge. So Rido is reminding us to move through the cycles, to keep moving, because in stillness is when we are going to lose focus. And focus is feeling really important for this reading, because it feels like there really is an overall objective. There really is something that needs to be worked on, that needs to be brought into existence. It needs to be fortified and available for others to help them along their path. So that's what Rido is bringing out. And this one is the final rune. It was on its side, which indicates a potential blind spot. So this is energy that can either work for us or against us, depending on how we choose to utilize it. This is Jera, and Jera represents the year. More specifically, it represents the harvest. So this is about that time when all of the work that you've put in, it is time to reap the rewards. It is time to collect the bounty. So this particular reading, this is a sense that not following the flow, not working for the overall good of the community or the neighborhood or your family, not staying in that energy is going to cause you to miss out on this opportunity of when to collect these rewards. The other side of it, with this energy, paying attention to it and understanding that it is a cycle, and in that cycle does come a period for reaping the harvest, is feeling like, to me, energy that's really going to amplify Gabo. So Gabo was our gifting through fair exchange. So paying attention to the energy of Jera and embracing it is really going to amplify the resources and rewards that come through as a result of this work that you are doing for community alignment. So that is our reading for Pink Pepper. I hope you have found this reading helpful, and I look forward to seeing you at future readings. You chose option 3. You chose cedarwood. And cedarwood has a feeling of community to it, strength and endurance, but also diversity. If you do research on cedars, you'll see that they really range in size and shape and location where they live, where they thrive. So this particular one, I was channeling a Western red cedar. But that is the base energy that we're looking at. So let's go ahead and look at the runes for the overall message from Cedar. Okay, this one looks like it's going to be a bit of a longer message too. I will have to say, this being the third in the series of 4, all of these plants have had very in-depth messages to deliver. Cedar is not any different as of right now. The first thing I'm being drawn to is Laguz is sitting over here on the edge of the reading, not touching any of the other runes. Laguz is energy of the lake. So Laguz is about our intuition. It's about the subconscious. It is about self-reflection, going within and really examining the self, but also it is a place of being able to connect with source. So this is really that opportunity where you get to make a choice about staying at the surface or diving in and going deep for some self-revelations and personal growth. That being on the edge of the reading indicates to me that this is energy that might be a little harder to access, but there would be benefit in reaching for it, in going there. The next part of the message that is coming out, we have Oruz, which is our rune of strength and stability. This is steadfastness and a staying power. So there is a sense that resolve is important, and not giving ground in the areas of your core beliefs. So sticking by what you believe, sticking by what you stand for, that type of energy. Next to it, we have Berkana, which is our birch tree. So this is our second indication of intuitive energy. It is feminine energy, it is birthing, it is nurturing. It is the type of energy that is going to help sustain this type of endurance. It is going to give access and awareness to the type of resources, both physically and spiritually, that you would need in order to maintain this resolve. At the very top of the pile, we have Fehu. And Fehu is about our mobile liquid resources. So this is about money. This is about what you have access to right now that you can use. So we're not looking at resources that you would cash in to collect money. So we're not looking at heritage jewelry collections or heirloom jewelry collections or real estate property. This is looking more at the wealth that we have that is in flow and that we have ready access to at any given moment. So we're going to see how that's playing out as we look at the rest of the reading. We do have Gebo, which is gifting. It's always gifting through fair exchange. Gebo also is an energy of direction, though. Like when you think about, we use X's to indicate location on maps. So treasure map, this is where you want to go for the resources. Nature trail or a map in a mall or at an amusement park. This X is telling you this is where you are in relation to where you might want to go. So that is why Gebo has that sense of wholeness and unity to it. There is no real wealth or existence without that connection or context of a larger situation. So this is reminding us or letting us know that seeking the value in something comes from understanding its place in a system. So it's not necessarily that this product or this service is X amount of dollars or it's, this currency. It is about, this is the value that something holds, and this value is going to enrich one's life. So we have that energy. We also have Hagalaz, our hail energy. So this is about destruction, but nurturing and nourishment that comes after the destruction. So space has been made, emotions have been released, energy has been released, and now we have water sources, we have a richness in our emotion body that is going to help us nurture these developments that we are making on a personal level. We have dagas, which is days, so this is our short cycle. This is about sunrise and sunset. This is about new beginnings. This is about the transition, the twilight periods. So in this reading, it is a feeling or a sense of the richness that occurs within the transition periods. It is understanding that there are only certain times when we have access to certain information or certain resources or certain insights. So I'm getting the feeling of like when we have the thinning in the veil, like when we have these moments, these opportunities to connect into energy that is otherwise not very easy for us to access. And so it's almost a feeling that this fluid resource, this fluid movement, it's tied into this. It's tied into those moments when we have access to a thinner part of the veil, vortexes or portals or certain phases of the moon. It's feeling like understanding those and harnessing that energy, and doing that is how you are going to find wealth and resources in your life. We have Ingwas, which is seed energy. So this is new beginnings. This is an understanding that in order for a seed to grow, in order to have the fruit or the reward or the harvest, the manifestation, that it does require nurturing, it does require governance, it does require tending to. It's not enough to just have it and let it be and then check back in on it and expect that you will have something to show for it. So this also is tying into this energy. This reading so far very much is an awareness of optimal timing and knowing that you do have to put in work to bring about the things that you are wanting, the things that you are hoping to see for yourself or in your life. It also is feeling like a very personal journey, like a self journey, not so much our connection with others, but our connection with self, which I find interesting because the cedar does hold with it energy of community and knowing the bounty of community and what it brings. So the fact that the reading itself is focused so much on individualness and developing that is telling me that it is through doing that, it's through coming to understand yourself, that you then become, that you fit into the whole better, that you have more to offer. And that's the kind of feeling that I'm getting so far. but we're going to look at the rest of the runes. We have Suelo. So again, this is our sun energy. This is about complete illumination. So this is, in this reading, it's feeling a little different than normal. It's feeling like being cautious of not blinding yourself. It's about understanding things in moderation. That having too much exposure will actually deplete you. So it's a sense of like sunburns or heat stroke. There's moderation is going to be important. Otherwise, processing something in its entirety is going to be too much. And it's feeling like this personal development, this going within and looking at the self, the soul, working with energetic frequencies that are going to align you to resources that you don't normally have access to. Suelo is actually feeling very cautionary in terms of making sure you don't spread yourself too thin, that you're still doing your personal maintenance and looking after yourself, so that you are equipped to work on these changes. We also have Thurisaz, so this is change through fire energy. So this is about rebirthing. And we had Berkana. So two different forms. We have birthing with Berkana and we have rebirthing with Thurisaz, and with an understanding that as we gain illumination, understanding, as we start to see a different way to exist, things have to change, that you can't operate off of the same principles that once served you. Doing that is not going to give you the space to fill into and grow into the person that you are evolving into. We have Othala, which is our rune of legacy and inheritance. This one is feeling like legacy in terms of reconnecting to innate gifts that you have not allowed yourself to recognize. It's feeling like dormant strengths that for one reason or another you have not embraced or you've not allowed yourself to acknowledge, perhaps out of fear of like responsibility that might go with that, perhaps out of uncertainty of what that would look like in your world, what that would look like in your community. Like, it's almost feeling like this is reassessing the type of community that you are in, the type of communities. Are you with people that nourish you and that feed your soul? Are you with people that tax you and people that make it hard for you to feel your self-worth? That's kind of the feeling that's coming out with Athala in context for the rest of this. We have Kenaz. This is our torch energy, but it is reusable, renewable. In a modern day sense, you would think of a flashlight or, the light on your cell phone, that you have the resources available to guide you in the moments of uncertainty. So remembering that is available to you and making informed decisions. This is action energy because it's fire, but it's also tied to our energetic body, our soul. So you're wanting to make sure that you are making wise and informed decisions along this journey about what directions you go. And that is part of how you're going to start recognizing and realizing resources, cash flow, that is going to help support you in your overall life and well-being. We have Ewas, our horse energy. This is about companionship. This is about spiritual connection. This reading, this is very much about spirit guides. One of your spirit guides may be a horse, a unicorn, or a Pegasus. It could even be a centaur. So spending some time meditating and asking to connect with your guides is feeling like it could be a very helpful thing for you right now. The final rune is Isa. Isa is ice. So with Isa for this reading, I'm getting the feeling of unknown potential. So we think about ice in terms of icebergs. We think about how much we don't see that's below the surface. Like, we understand what is accessible. So much like our lake energy, there's the surface and then there's what exists below the surface. And Isa is suggesting that there is something within the core that once it's released, it's going to create a flow of nourishment, a flow of nurturing, a flow of abundance, a flow of empowerment. So Isa is telling us in this reading to be mindful of the potential that is below the surface, and understanding that the potential may not be accessible right now in its current form, but it is there, and it's a matter of warming it up. It's a matter of moving it. It's a matter of starting to use it, putting new skills into place, new practices. And in doing so, that is how you are going to access those resources. So this is your reading for for cedarwood. I hope you have found this message helpful, and I look forward to seeing you at future readings. You have chosen the fourth option. You have chosen patchouli. For patchouli, we get the essential oil from the leaves, which is why I created the leaves at the bottom, but the flower is really beautiful as well, so I wanted to include that in the imagery. Patchouli is a very grounding plant. It's a very grounding oil. For me, it is one of the only oils that just smells like earth. It smells like Gaia. Like, this is the association that I have with it. So patchouli is very grounding, but it's very empowering. It gives you kind of a momentum or a confidence to go out into the world and do the things that you are meant to do. So that is the underlying energy from the plant energy. See how this reading goes. The wind is picking up, and I don't want things flying away. So there may or may not be interruptions, but here we go. This is message from Patchouli. Okay. First thing, we have Ingwas, which is seed energy. So this is about new beginnings. This is about passing on information for future generations. Thinking about our DNA, like all of the information is genetically stored to be recreated in future organic forms. So this is Ingwas coming with a birthing energy, with a potential, with an ancient wisdom. In this is how it's feeling for this reading. We have Lagus, so this is our lake energy. This is about intuition. This is about going deep. This is about personal development. We have Wunjo, which is about joy, satisfaction, cycles, and completeness. Look at how that sun just opened up and is like shining in on it. It's very beautiful. So that is giving me a sense then that there is finding joy in everyday moments. Just being in gratitude and appreciation for the beauty of the little miracles of life all around us. That it is easy to get caught up in overcomplicated things and miss or take for granted the beauty of the sun opening up and lighting the path, or lighting what we're examining. We have Menas, which is about unity. It's about humanity. So this is connection and community. And if you look, so Wunjo is a rune of joy, and Menas, one of the ways you can see it is its joy reflected upon itself. And this is because humanity is meant to experience joy. We are meant to be joy. And so a lot of our work is in the pursuit of reclaiming or living within that joy and that contentment and the beautiful experience of being human. We have Gabo, which is about gifting through fair exchange. So another component of cooperative work, making sure that as you do the work within, as you do the individual personal work, making sure to remember that it is always part of a benefit for the whole. What you give should be equal to what you get. That is always the goal, is to strive for that balance between giving and receiving. We also have auras, and this is about strength and endurance. So there is a sense or a feeling of like strength in numbers, strength in community, and understanding that despite the challenges and the obstacles, we can always achieve more collectively than we can as individuals. We have Thurisaz, which I feel like has come out in every reading so far. It's hard to keep track of them. But this is fire energy. This is about illumination in the darkness. This is about creating change. So creating space for new growth. And since we had Ingwas coming out earlier, it is a sense that we are opening up. We are telling the earth. We are loosening things to create that foundation for growth to occur. We also have Fehu and Kenaz, which I know have come out. Again, I can't say if it's been for every reading, but it's been more than one at least. So Fehu is wealth. It is liquid, mobile, fluid wealth. So this is a reminder that holding on to resources is only beneficial to a certain point. Oftentimes, when you hold resources too long, they can spoil, they can lose value. So there's kind of a sweet spot of when you can actually really harness and utilize resources and wealth. And so that's what this is reminding us in this reading is being in that moment and really reveling in that, the ripeness of the moment kind of a thing. Kenaz also has come out multiple, if not all of the readings. This is our torch energy. So again, this is about lighting the path. This is about being the source of light. This is about trusting that there always is a path, even if you can't see it, that the path will be lit as you walk it. And Isa as well, which I know again has been multiple, if not all the readings. For this reading, Isa is feeling like solidarity. It is feeling like, again, large ice, like the frozen top of a lake, glacier. It's feeling like big frozen energy, big ice. And so solidarity, in that sense, it does give you firm ground to stand on in terms of not sinking or not having to constantly move to remain in place. However, it is also a reminder that being intentional with movement is important, because ice does create flow when you step wrong and it sends you sliding, or when you step and the ice is thinner in one spot than another and then you fall through into the body of water below. So solidarity, but being mindful of the structure or the components within that solidarity, because while it is solid footing, it is not I don't know the words. I wanted to say dependable, but dependable is not the right sense either. It's just an awareness that you don't always have to be on guard, but you do need to be aware of your surroundings. So again, for this reading, it's pulling me back to a sense of being in the moment, of paying attention to what gifts are available to you, being appreciative of the solid ground you stand upon, understanding the timing of things, that type of energy. And then hidden in our pile was Perthrow. So Perthrow, I believe, came out with the first one, which was Clary Sage, so you might want to check that reading. I'm pretty sure that these are the only two readings Perthrow has come out in. But Perthrow is about the unknown. It is about the energy when we take a gamble, when we take a risk, not knowing what will result, but having an idea of what potential could be there. So with Perthrow in this reading, it is tying into that feeling of the new beginnings that we had. Patchouli is about grounding, but it's also, like I said, it has that kind of arousing, energetic feel to it. So I'm getting the feeling that Perthrow, having been hidden in the pile, covered by all the other runes, the potential is something that we are going to have to work for. So knowing that there could be better, knowing that there could be greater, knowing that there could be something more beneficial or satisfactory for the community, for the whole. That's what we're striving for. And the way that we're going to work towards that is by understanding that we have new beginnings, we have potential within our seed energy. So we are going to be nurturing, we're going to be paying attention to what is available in the moment. We're going to be paying attention to where we have strength, where we have illumination, where we have room for growth. This is very much about awareness and knowing when to take action and when to be collecting information for informed action in the future. So that is our message from Patchouli. I want to thank you for participating in this reading. I hope you have found it helpful, and I look forward to seeing you in future readings. To close out this video, I just want to take the time to thank my guides and your guides, to thank the plants that we called upon today, and to thank the runes themselves for the information and the wisdom that they have provided. I am wishing you well, and I will see you at future readings.